So welcome everybody. This is our June mixer evening, and just to get started, please note that all of our meetings are recorded and made available to the public for viewing by all on our YouTube channel. By participating in this meeting, it is understood that you have accepted and agree to those terms. So, we there was a mention actually. Michael, are you with us? Peter was mentioning that you.
Yes, I'm here. Yes, I'm here.
Okay, very good. Yeah, you're audio only, I guess, because of your remote location. Is that?
No, I can do video as well.
Oh, yeah,
I got the video as well.
Ah, okay. Yeah, definitely a little choppier than normal, but you're not in your normal spot, are you?
Well, I'm in our trailer, and I'm using a phone hotspot as the connection to the internet. So,
okay,
may not be as good as it might be otherwise.
Yeah, your audio is just fine, but so I don't know if you'd like to jump right into it, but a little update on the RF probe project Peter mentioned.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
have a few things to talk about, and Dave,
Peter,
you might jump in as well.
Peter and I have been chatting about this, and Dave as well. Peter was having let's see. We produced a pretty well next to, or Dave produced a pretty well next to final board that's the size to go in the probe case. And Dave has a picture of it in the case, had a picture of it in the case at some point. Peter was having trouble getting the same results that I was, and I think Dave as well. And it turns out that the probe is extremely sensitive to the input capacitor value. And we hadn't anticipated that, but you change the capacitor value by half a picofarad and you can get gains of like 5 as opposed to 2, which is sort of what I got. So, but anyway, it looks like from what year's testing has shown, it looks like a value of 1 picofarad works, also input, also a value of half a picofarad. But in any event, it's very sensitive to the input capacitor value. So yeah. So let's see. Peter and Dave has also verified that we're going to use an SMA connector, SMA female connector, as the input to the probe. And that raises the question of what do you actually use to probe with. And Peter has a pogo stick, which is a spring-loaded stick, which can be used to probe the test point with some kind of ground connection as well. It also might be possible to use the kind of probes that the test points are that you put on a board. You can use one of those possibly. In any case, it appears that whatever probe you use is going to increase the capacitance, input capacitance of the probe a bit, which will affect its gain. So that's that part of it. What we want to know now is who is interested in building the probe, and whether we want to do a buildathon kit type of approach or not. So maybe we can start with who's interested in building the probe. And are you, Frank? Is that what you're saying? Can't hear you, Frank.
Yeah.
Still can't hear you.
Yeah, you're still
mute.
Oh, that's better.
But you can give us a thumbs up, Frank.
Yeah, Frank.
There you go.
Oh, so Frank's interested. Okay. Who else?
You're unmuted now, Frank.
Beg your pardon?
I was saying he's unmuted now. Maybe he can speak now.
Frank, can you check your audio? Just to say something?
Who, me?
Frank.
Oh, yeah.
There you
testing.
go.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, you're
That's
on.
Better, Frank.
Yeah. And I'm in.
Okay, so Frank's in. Okay. Cherry, did you say you were in as well? There's a picture of it, by the way.
Yes, I am in.
Yeah, so Cherry, Al.
Al's in too.
Yep.
That's the inside.
Kevin?
Sitting in the case.
Oh, I didn't see a hand, Kevin, but
Oh,
you're
sorry.
sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, me too.
So, okay. And who else? I've got
Yep.
Frank, Cherry, Kevin, and who else?
Al.
Al, okay. Okay. Anybody else?
It's not. I think we're missing a few people on this this evening, but myself, of course.
Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus me. So that's 6 so far. Okay. Yeah, you can see from the pictures. These must be Dave's pictures showing what it looks like inside. That's not it. Anyway, okay.
Yeah,
So-
just the case dimensions, 6 centimeters
Yep. By something else.
by about
By
4. I
about
think.
4, I think. 4.5 or something.
Yeah, I believe that was the.
The board is 52 by 34. That's 6 and a bit, yeah. Okay, so I guess that's the other question is we were thinking, would we do a buildathon or not, or just provide the parts, the kits, and have people build it on their own? And
Maybe we should put a poll up on SOAREX on the groups.
Could do.
You know.
Could you do that, Eric?
Michael,
Sure.
Say,
Yeah.
what's that, Dave?
Michael, could you maybe just review the high level specs? Like what's the frequency range? What's the
Oh, right. Okay.
hottest signal, lowest signal? Like how much gain we're getting.
Okay.
We don't need
All right.
precise numbers. Just saying a gain of roughly 1 or 2 dB is good enough.
Okay,
just rough numbers.
Let's start with the gain. The gain is roughly 2 dB at okay, the frequency range, it's the HF band. So basically 80 meters, 3.5 megahertz to 30 to 10 meters, 30 megahertz. So that range, I guess it will work on VHF and UHF, but we haven't tested it on that particularly. The gain is 80 meters is around 2 dB. And at 30 meters, it's around 1.9, 0.8, something like. I don't have the numbers in front of me. Let's see the bandwidth. It's good from 70 kilohertz, I think, up to about 120 megahertz, very roughly. I think that's right. And those are the three. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but those are the 3 dB points, roughly.
Yeah, it's just basically hundreds
Sorry,
of
Dave?
kilohertz.
Big one?
It's hundreds of kilohertz. The bandwidth is hundreds of kilohertz. To
I think so. Yeah, it's
about
just
rough. We don't need to know 7.396 kilohertz.
no. It's roughly
200 megahertz.
700 kilohertz up to about 120 megahertz, I think, if I remember correctly. I'm not sure what the lower the lower band may be a bit lower than that, but roughly that. What else? So that's the bandwidth, the gain, like I said, between around 2 to 1, depending on where you are in frequency wise. What else was there? The harmonic
minimum
distortion.
voltage.
Say again?
Minimum voltage is about 13.7
13.7, I think it was, wasn't it? Something like that. 13.7 volts is what it needs.
And it draws about 50 milliamps.
That's right, yeah. What else was there, Dave? I don't remember.
And the impedance, the input impedance.
Oh, yeah.
It's the equivalent of 2 picofarads. So if you're probing a circuit, it's the equivalent of adding 2 picofarads across that circuit. You're going to load it down by 2 picofarads, which is nothing, which is very, like 2 picofarads at 30 megahertz is a huge number.
That was 27K or something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, even at 3 megahertz, it's several K. So
That's
you're not
right.
going to be loading the circuit down too much.
Which is the whole point of building the probe in the first place. And Peter has done some testing with his Phoenix transceiver and has found that it has minimal effect, seems to have minimal effect on, he's listening to the audio output of the receiver, and it seems to have pretty well minimal effect on the receiver. And it's designed to be used for spectrum analyzer, in as much as the output would drive a spectrum analyzer. The level of the output is not enough to drive an oscilloscope, I don't think. If you really wanted to, you could build a small amplifier to drive it, but we haven't done a lot of testing. We have done no testing of that, so that's sort of an unexplored area. So I think that's pretty well where we are. Anything else, Dave?
I have a question, Michael.
Yeah, maybe just Michael, comment on the build itself. You're experiencing building it. It's like I've got it. I could build that board in like literally 20 minutes because I built so many of them that. But it's, I don't know, Michael. Maybe share your experience.
Well, okay, Dave has been building it using a soldering iron with a fine tip, which works. What I've done is I use a reflow station, soldering station, so I use the hot air approach. And Hassan and Eric and I were at my place when we were first starting to do this, and we tried my reflow station with a temperature of just over 200 degrees Celsius, and Hassan built a board, and it took a long time to heat up the components enough that they actually soldered in place. I ended up thinking about it running in my reflow station at 300 Celsius, and it's a lot faster. And from my point of view, it can be done a few components at a time. Basically, you just you use the paste and put the component on the pads, heat it up, and you're done. And it's easy enough to take components off and put them on, I found anyway. So that's my way to do it. Peter and Dave have both done it with the soldering iron approach, which also works. So, I'm not as fast as Dave, but I've done a few, and they all seem to work one way or another, provided you put the right capacitor or the right components in the right places and don't fry things.
But I think certainly this thing could be built within, with a proper manual. I think, you could easily build this within 3 hours, easily.
Probably, yeah.
Would you agree?
Peter and I have been chatting about whether or not to build a manual. To provide a manual for it. Basically, it's really just capacitors, resistors, and a couple of inductors, and that's it's very easy to build. Actually, there's enough space on the board to put the components in. So that's a topic for a poll. People think it's worth building and doing manual, given the effort involved in preparing it. So so that's where we are.
So it'd be interesting to find out if anyone, because for me, I think buildathon, because I like the social aspect of us getting together and we all sit in a room. I miss that. I miss the Frank buildathons in the church basement. That was a lot of fun getting together, and so I would enjoy doing that. I'd like to hear what others have to say. Is that because I think if we kit this and we give the kit out, I don't think anyone's going to build it. Whereas if you go in a buildathon, you kind of are motivated to build it as a group. Thoughts?
Okay, yeah.
And I think these days we could do a hybrid, right? Where we, as many people, we pick a central location for everybody, and then we can just video conference people who still want to participate, on a screen, right? They can ask questions and whatever else, but, getting as many people together, I think physically, I agree, that's the better way to do it.
We could do a poll and find out what people want, or do a show of hands, I suppose, now.
Yeah. Well, I think you were asking me, Michael, to do that. I'm happy to create a poll to get people's opinions on that.
Okay, well, there are two questions. If you're going to do a poll, I guess one question is,
who wants a kit?
Buildathon or not, or are people
Right.
happy to do otherwise? And what about a manual? Do people think they want to build manual or not?
That's a lot of work.
I think a manual is essential. Michael, my opinion on this is that a manual is essential because we want to keep it like a traditional buildathon that we do, where we have a manual that walks us through the process. It talks about how to use it. So I think a manual is going to be key, especially for even if we kit it. Because even if you kit it and you give this board to people to build, how are they going to know which parts to solder in first? How to test it, how to put the parts in, tips and tricks to test it, and then at the end, how to do a sweep, how to calibrate it, how to do those kinds of things. So I think personally, I think a manual is a must-have. But hey, I defer to the group.
Okay. That reminds me, Dave spent a lot of time working on the test process, like how to measure the impedance, input impedance, how to measure output impedance, how to measure gain, how to configure the spectrum analyzer, and those kinds of things. And he's prepared, I think there were 5 or 6 PDF documents that he's prepared, and I was going to spend a bit of time making them all sort of look pretty much the same and streamlining them a bit. But those are available for people who want to build things. Those are going to be available for sure, like how to test it. The missing part is actually the building, like what to put where, kind of thing. But we could do that. So
Michael,
maybe Eric could ask those questions.
Yeah,
sorry, Eric.
I'll do that. But Al, go ahead.
Just my 2 cents worth, I guess. I like a buildathon. We haven't had one in a long time. I like the social side of it. So I definitely support that. Manuals are great. They're a lot of work. I'm wondering, depending on who enrolls, for example, if it's strictly the regular SOAREX guys, the manual probably does not have to be a work of art, can be quite condensed. But if we open it up to the general public and the general ham community, the manual probably needs to be more thorough for the people that aren't there. But for example, if the group we're talking to today right here, if it was only us, we could probably get away with some data sheets and some very slim manual. But anyhow, my 2 cents worth.
Okay.
All right. Frank, go ahead, please.
Yeah. Speaking from a lot of experience with buildathons, the manual actually makes or breaks a buildathon. And if you can get it thorough enough, particularly on the how to use it things, since there's not many components, would be a tremendous asset to the project. A suggestion would be to have the manual online. And if they want to print it out, they can. If they want to just follow it online as they go and have it ready for them at the beginning of the build-a-thon, where and when you happen to have it. So just a couple of ideas that I think will help everybody get a working project.
Yeah, Frank, that's a good idea, doing it online. I like that. Yeah, do the manual online, make it available. And we'd also make these other PDFs available as well. Yeah. Okay. I guess that's, from my point of view, that's it. Unless there's other questions.
I have one question, Michael, about that input capacitor. Were different people in the prototypes using different values? Is that why, or were they just out of tolerance, like out of spec due to tolerances?
We started with a 1 picofarad input capacitor and did some testing with that, and then Peter decided to try 0.5 picofarad, a smaller capacitor. The idea being to get a higher impedance, I think, was the idea. And so we've done it both ways, and that's the reason for the discussion about which capacitor to use. And in the end, I think Peter, his test results show that that they're pretty much the same. The results are pretty much the same within a tolerance, depending on which capacitor you use. I think the lower capacitor has the advantage of creating a higher input impedance, if I'm not mistaken. So Peter has done extensive testing with both. So has Dave. I've done a bit, and my observation was, let me think, if the capacitance is a 0.5 picofarad, then the gain is around 0 dB at, let's say, 3.5 megahertz. With the larger one, the 1 picofarad, it's about 2 dB, so it's a bit higher. So it's sort of up to the user to decide what they want to do. But the probe works either way, I think. So with either capacitor value. So
I think maybe Dave wanted to weigh in on this.
Yeah, sure, Dave.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the input, that capacitor is like a boondoggle. It's like, okay, you could use 100 microfarads there if you want. You could use 1 picofarad. You could use 0.5 picofarad. Use a 4 picofarad capacitor. It doesn't matter what you use. As Michael said, the only thing it's going to do, that capacitor is going to change how it's going to impact the circuit. Okay, so that capacitor at the front, the probe has about I think it's about 2 or 4 picofarad. No, it's about 4 picofarads input capacitance, just a probe alone. If you put 100 microfarad capacitor, it's about a 4 picofarad input shunt, right? Now, if you put a 1 picofarad capacitor in series with that, capacitors in series are like parallel. So you drop the capacitance down to about 2 picofarads. So the bottom line is, doesn't matter what you do, you have to do a sweep. Whatever capacitor you put in, you're going to have to do a calibration sweep to see what the gain is as a function of frequency. And it's a very small roll-off. You're talking about less than 1 dB roll-off, at most about 1 dB, 1.1 dB. It's 1 dB-ish roll-off between 80 meters and 10 meters. Between 3 megahertz and 30 megahertz, it's about 1 dB roll-off. It's small, but it's the gain you want. You want to know whether you're getting 2 dB of gain or you're getting 4 dB of gain, because when you probe a circuit, you want to know what that energy is, how strong that signal, you need to know what the output gain is. So that's why you need to go and do that. You need to figure out what that gain is. So even if we all bought a 1 picofarad capacitor as an example. Let's say we all go out and buy a 1 picofarad capacitor. We put it in. I will measure, say, 2 dB gain. Eric will measure 4 dB gain. Michael may measure, 1 dB gain, because the tolerance of that capacitor is what, like 20%? Right. And that 20% is going to make a big difference in terms of gain. So that's why that's why I'm saying it doesn't matter what capacitor you use. You put a capacitor in, you pick one, put it in, and then you have to do a calibration sweep to see how the probe performs. Because every probe is going to perform differently from each other. And for us to go and pick capacitors that are exactly 1 picofarad, that's going to be a very difficult chore.
Well, if there's a calibration step, then it's a moot point. Bottom line.
Sorry, what was that, Eric?
Oh, no, I'm just saying, if there's a calibration step, then that takes it out of the equation, right? So
yeah. And I
Okay.
forgot to say, we started out, when Dave started out developing the probe, we used the 100 nanofarad capacitor. That's right, I'd forgotten that. And then we went to 1 picofarad, and then we tried half. So we've done 3, and it depends what you put in. And Dave's point about the tolerance is right. Peter has found, with apparently the same capacitor, same 1 picofarad capacitor, some of them measure 1.5, some of them measure 0.8, some of them measure 0.9. It all depends. So you do have to calibrate it. That's right. And we have the instructions to do it. We know how to do that.
And the nice thing about calibration is that you don't need a spectrum analyzer. Eric is going to talk about the 5 days in May, 4 days in May. I brought along the ARC SNA, and I was able to characterize the probe using our SNA. It worked fine. I could generate a calibration sweep using the SNA. You don't need a spectrum analyzer to go and do a calibration sweep.
I thought out of curiosity, I'd try my tiny SA instead of the segment spectrum analyzer as well, and just see where that takes me sometime. But yeah, okay, and that's all I've got.
Okay, thanks very much, Michael. So yeah, I will post polls. 3 questions really. Who wants, to the board and the kit, so to speak? Who wants to do a buildathon, and what method, as well as manual? Those 3 questions. So see what kind of responses we get from that.
And
okay,
and Eric,
Yep.
as well, it may not be limited to 1 buildathon. I could see potentially 2 buildathons, one in the GTA area somewhere, maybe Peel or wherever, right? And probably one out in the Kingston area, because we do have quite a number of people from the Kingston area. So there is potentially maybe 2. It'd be great if we could all travel out to Kingston and do it there, or the people in Kingston could travel here, but it's probably going to involve a hotel stay, and probably not everyone is going to be okay with that. So I could see potentially multiple buildathons. So that's something else to do in the poll, Eric, is right. Where you like to see the buildathon.
Or a coordinated buildathon, have it 2 locations on the same day. And then there could be a link between the 2 of them, right? So, but anyway, lots of variations possible here. So, all right.
Okay, I'm going to go, Eric.
Okay. Yep. Thanks very much, Michael.
Thanks. Okay.
Yep.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.
Yeah. Have a good night.
Night.
Okay, so yeah, Dave, you might have missed the beginning, but unfortunately, I've had to defer the FDIMn North, as well as a recap of the Central Ontario Hamfest from this past Saturday. So that'll have to happen at a probably the July mixer instead of this one. So we won't be discussing that today. As far as a presentation, but unless anyone had any questions about either of those events, we will defer that to the next meeting, either our general meeting in a couple weeks or the July meeting. So, Frank, yes, go ahead, please. Oh, you are muted, Frank. Can I unmute you? Ask to unmute. Did I just mute you?
I am.
There you
go. Just a couple of comments about the Kitchener-Waterloo Hamfest. I had a real good time there and was very pleased to meet a lot of the hams that I've known over the years, particularly the ones that join in the SOAREX group every time. And I know Kevin was there. That was nice. Cherry was there. Yeah. I forget.
I think Ian was there too. Was he, Frank?
Ian and Kevin was
Ian.
there.
Ian?
Yeah.
Oh.
Ian was there.
Yeah.
Marty was there as well.
Yeah, he was there. Marty was, that's the one I couldn't remember, was Marty. Marty
Yep.
was there. Peter from the old ham club, the Peel Ham Club was there. The other Peter. And it was a really, really good turnout. I had set up 24 feet of bargains, the 3 8-foot tables. And there's one that Eric missed. I'll see if you, just a minute, let me see if I can put my own picture up here.
What? I didn't buy something?
You missed this. You bought something, but you missed it.
Am I missing a knob?
No, a foot.
Oh, a foot. Yeah. Wait a second. Oh, yeah. Right. Okay. Thank you. Yes. It was
on the floor of the back seat of my car.
Ah, okay.
If you send me your snail mail address, I'll put it in the post.
I'd prefer if you hand delivered it to me, Frank.
Yes, I know.
Actually, you know what? Dave will pick it up from you and then he'll bring it. Don't worry. Save you the driving.
Whatever.
Yeah, he's a good guy. All right. Well, thank you. Yep.
Anyway.
But yeah, you had good success there, didn't you, Frank?
Yes, I was very pleased with it. I took 7 totes there, and I brought home 3.
Yeah. And when Sandy saw me pull up with 4 totes, she was just over the moon.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah.
Anyway, the only downside of it was I was completely wiped out for 2 days, Monday and Tuesday. And I've decided that that's going to be the last Hamfest I'm going to be selling stuff at. I'll be a customer, not a salesman. So that's the way it ended up anyway.
Oh, very good. All right. Well, thanks, Frank, for that.
Excellent pictures were posted by Mike on the SOAREX group.
Yes, I did have a brief look at those, and actually I'm going to incorporate some of those in my brief discussion of the event at our future meeting. So.
Oh, good.
Yep.
If you can edit a video, clip out the section he did about 3 or 4 shots of my tables.
Ah, okay. Well, yeah, I got a good video overview of your tables as well myself. So.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so I can. Although I think they might have been a little picked over by that point. I should have done it first thing. Anyway, regardless. Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Dave had a comment, Frank, I think. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, so Frank, one of my goals this summer is I'm going to come out and see you. So I'm just looking for a reason, so I'll come pick up that knob.
Oh, okay. The foot, yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But no, seriously, Frank, sometime this summer, I'm going to come out and visit you.
Okay. Just let me
summer,
know ahead of time.
Yeah, last summer I was in the Leamington area, which is only 45 minutes from you. Yeah. And I didn't come see you. So this year, I'm going to make sure I come and see you if I'm out that neck of the woods.
Okay, you're very welcome.
Great. And so so that was one comment I had about Frank. So the other comment I wanted to, or a question I had, one of the things that at that weekend in Smith Falls, one of the things I pulled out the Park SNA and I used that, and I was really impressed by how well that thing worked. And so I was talking to Peter about it, and I do have a presentation about it. And I'm just wondering if you want me to repeat that presentation, because it's a good piece of test equipment. It's not certainly not a spectrum analyzer, but it can do, a good bit of what the spectrum analyzer could do. Certain things it can't do, but it's not bad. So I'm just wondering if anyone would like to see that presentation again. I can do that presentation again.
Do you have some new things to add to it as well, Dave, or would it be simply a redo?
It'll just be a rinse and repeat of the exact same presentation.
Right. Cherry, go ahead.
Yeah, I think that was one of the best buildathons I've been part of after I joined, you all guys. And I think you should do that again. Like that presentation will be very, very helpful. I think, that will be great, is my feeling.
Okay. All right. Well, Frank, sorry, you've got...
Yeah. No, I would like to see it. I don't remember it, Dave. So it could have been one of the ones I missed early this year. But it would certainly be interesting to see your evaluation.
Okay, well, to me that sounds like you've got at least a quorum here tonight. So, all right.
I was going to do it regardless.
Yeah. Do we have a choice?
Whether you wanted it or not.
All right. We Clockwork Orange all over again. So, a couple things that I wanted to bring up. Again, this kind of has to do with the Central Ontario Hamfest, but we've been having a somewhat of a discussion in the background about SOAREX representation at local hamfests where possible. So I spoke to the grand poobah of the hamfest this past Saturday, the organizer, name's Patrick, and asked him about club participation. So as it happens, there was one external club that wasn't part of the whatever Cambridge area that actually puts on the event. But yeah, the Elmira Amateur Radio Club had a table, inside table. And Peter was mentioning that previously at Hamex, the Parks Hamfest, that they would provide a table at no charge for clubs and, you know, people that were just not selling things, but just promoting their own clubs, groups, whatever else. And there was no charge for that. At the Central Ontario, I guess since it's so popular, they do charge for that. So Elmira paid the indoor vendor table fee, which is pretty nominal, $15, I believe, for an 8-foot table. But so anyway, you know, we're talking about maybe doing that. There seems to be enough regular attendees from the SOAREX group that go to these, you know, the Hamfests in the area. I won't point fingers or name names, but you know, that might be a good way of, I guess, spreading the word, proselytizing about what our group does, and seeing if we get more people joining in. So anyway, that is certainly an option for us. He did mention that he'd be able to provide us an outdoor table at no charge. And for instance, there was somebody from the PODA organization, I guess, really, or at least somebody who regularly does Parks on the Air, who had a table outside. So I think he might have been the only person out there, but you know, we could do that for absolutely nothing. So anyway, something that you know, I guess stay tuned. You know, we may put something together. If you have ideas or what have you, please join in when we start discussing it on the groups in a chat. So we haven't really done anything about, other than news about it at the Smiths Falls event, and a little bit as well, chatting back and forth. So the other thing I wanted to bring up is field day. I'm gonna make a post on the groups IO. I mentioned this at a previous mixer, I believe, but if anybody is interested in coming up to the farm to do a little bit of field day operating, I'm happy to host whoever would like to come over. So you know, I'll make a post on groups and see about that, but just keep it on your radar. It's coming up the last weekend of this month, June 28th and 29th. So again, I know there's not too many of us here, but if you want to bring out some of your creations or things you want to try out, test out, or whatever, it's an opportunity to do that, and also to have a little bit of you know, camaraderie and socialization, which we all don't get enough of these days, I don't think. So Dave, go ahead, please.
I have to find the mute button. But yeah, so Eric, for the first point about you know, going and you know, promoting SOAREX, I think that's a very good idea. Peter and I have been doing that down at FDIMn in the States. We've been doing that for years now, and we've had a couple of people from the States come in, join in. I think that's how, I don't know how Bob got involved. I don't know if we got Bob. We met Bob at FDIMn. Certainly Dwayne. That's how Dwayne got involved. We met Dwayne there, and Dwayne was, you know, part of the group for years. So I think it's a good way that we could introduce some new meat, some fresh meat into the group, because I think, you know, it's good to have some new people in there that could do presentations. If you look at Charlie has joined the group, and he's been doing a lot of presentations, and he's keeping us busy. So I think, you know, it's a necessary thing we need to go and do. It's just a matter of who's going to do it and how we're going to pay for it. So, but my 2 cents is, I think it's a necessary thing if we want to keep our group alive and doing well. we need to continually support it or promote it.
And the nice thing, if you're attending the Hamfest already, it's really not that. I mean, you get to experience the Hamfest just the same, And if anything, you have a table, you get early access usually, right? So as a bonus to whoever's helping out, and it can be done. It can be done regionally if one of us is far away or what have you, well, maybe another person can do it. We do have a board that I currently possess for the group that, I'm happy to bring out if and when necessary. But anyway, so yeah, we'll talk a little bit more as a whole group on the groups and see what we can get as far as interest in that for helping out, etc.
As well, Eric, you and I have we've been involved in a lot of these Hamfests, like both from FLL, from our first Lego League, and Hammocks and York gave us free tables because we weren't, as you said, we weren't selling anything. We were promoting a kids team, a kids robotics team that competed. We weren't trying to raise money. We were just there to talk about. I think one time did we sell batteries? I can't remember. But also too,
I think one of them didn't York require us to leave a kid behind though, as an offering.
yeah. And I used to do that with my rocketry club. Hammocks used to give us a table. They used to actually beg me to come in and have a table, and it was free. And I would have our rockets, and we had people from my club come out there. New York was the same way. I think it was basically York and Hammocks was really, adamant about us coming out and really, pushed us, begged us to come out and have a table because it's just general interest.
Yeah, well, it was popular. I remember getting a lot of people stopping and being curious about it. So, yeah, that's. I think it's a good thing. So can't get too much attention, I don't think, in these endeavors. So, all right. So that I guess really brings us to what should, I guess, by the looks of it, be a fairly brief roundtable. There's now, I guess, 7 of us here. So let's just go around the screen and see what people are up to. What's keeping them busy these days? So let's start with you, Al. You're first on my clockwork.
Oh, all right. How about that? Well, in terms of ham radio, not a heck of a lot. Work's keeping me busy. But anyhow, one thing I did pick up off of Amazon, I don't know how I came across this, but I picked up a book from the CW Way of Life. Came in yesterday. It's quite something. It's got history of CW right from Samuel Morse and theory behind it, the physics behind it, exercises. Was about 218 pages worth. So just came in yesterday. Maybe I'll give you a book report when I get through it. But that's what I'm going to be doing the next couple of weeks for bedtime reading. Still trying to get my CW up. Sort of stuck at the 10, 13 word per minute. I'm trying to do CW in my head without writing it down. So maybe my age is starting to hold me back, but it's challenging. But maybe one of these days I'll be proficient. But it's only taken, well, how many years so far? Anyhow, yeah, summer is here, so working around the house. Maybe by the fall I'll have the shack back in place. So most of my radio is being done mobile in the car. So that's what I'm up to right now, Eric. Back to you.
Thanks. Are you doing HF in the car or?
I have both. I have an ICOM 7000, so it's all mode, all band. Well, not all band. Does it go to 6? I'm not sure. But so I got 2 antennas on the back of the Corolla, one for HF, and then I've got a 2-meter 440 on the other side of the trunk lid. So I pretty much got it all. But I enjoy the HF side because there's always something on HF. Maybe not so with repeaters these days. So, and I'm getting my CW practice as I commute to work, listening to W1AW. So it works out rather well.
Oh, very good.
I see Dave has a question.
He does, yeah. Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, hey Al, I got a very naive question to ask you about your ICOM. You've got two antennas there. Does it automatically figure out which antenna you need to put on, or do you have to actually manually switch it? Or it figures out you're 2 meters. This is my port for 2 meters, and this is HF. I go out.
Yeah, there's two output ports, both UHF ports, one for UV and the other for HF. So, and I put it into a Hammond industrial enclosure, so it's in the trunk, waterproofed, and I put an automatic antenna tuner on it as well. And then the remote head just comes up to the console in the car, and I've got a RAM mount stuck into the cup holder, and that's what holds the control console. So I can rest my arm on the console and have my hand twiddling the tuning knob without having to look down or away. So it works out really well. Next time we get together, I'll show it to you.
Okay. Thanks very much, Al, for that. Cherry, what is going on with you?
Hey, so I've been reading this book, which I'm not sure whether you can see it. Technical Topics. This is from the RSGB, Radio Society of Great Britain. So this is something which I picked up from the last Sunday. So very interesting book. I've been reading this and just a lot of good interesting projects and stuff. So that's my activity right now, and looking forward to the next Hamfest next week. That's the plan. Otherwise, I picked up another 817, the one before the last Hamfest. So it was from Smith Falls, and I know that it's not working properly. So that's already a I think there is something issue with the transmit side. So and I got it for a very cheap price. So I'm looking at repairing that if possible. So been investigating a little bit and also looking at some of the videos on how to do that. Looks like the power amp may be gone. That is normal with the 817. It's famous that there are some issues with the power amp which can stop working. So I'm looking at repairing that. I've been opening and looking at things on the 817. So that's what's going on my table here. Thanks.
Okay. Thanks, Jerry. Dave, how about yourself?
From perspective of ham radio, I got a scanner at the Smith Falls Hamfest. So I took some time playing around with that. It's actually on right now, scanning the aviation frequencies around my neighborhood here. Brantford Airport's not far from me. It's usually quite active, but I think it's dead. Tonight, I think a thunderstorm's coming through. So there's probably nobody up flying. But yeah, that's basically it. I'm doing a whole bunch of other non-ham radio things.
How was your rocket launch on the weekend? Success?
No, there's no rocket launch on the weekend.
I saw pictures.
No, I was building rockets.
Oh, that was just a build, not a launch.
Yeah, it was. I had a buildathon, but we were building rockets. My nephew's two kids came over, and we remember those. Those rockets we built for the Cubs, the birdie and the little rocket. We were building those. So I had the kids.
And then they have to wait to launch them?
Yeah, next weekend is not this weekend, the following weekend the 14th. There's a launch up in Cambridge. I joined the Cambridge Club, so I'll be up and that rocket behind me there. I don't know if you can see that I'm building that. So that's going to get launched at the Cambridge rocket launch.
And the kids are going to come along to do theirs there as well?
Yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah,
nice. They're going to come along.
Well, that's kind of neat. Yeah, so they get to see the big ones as well as theirs. Nice. Good plan. Okay, Drew, if you're with us. Yep, there you are. Good evening.
I am. Hello, how are you?
Hey,
so,
good.
Radio. Yeah. I bought a bunch of those little QRP rigs, COVID and on, and I have a QMX, which is the digital QRP Labs rig.
Yep.
And I wanted to use it in a kind of an outdoors fashion. So for some years, I've been using a Raspberry Pi to run my ICOM 706 downstairs remotely. So I set up another one to run this little QMX remotely. And I got into a rabbit hole trying to get the GPS to work on it, because you can attach a GPS through the GPIO ports. And so I discovered that the GPS that I purchased is legendarily deaf. It must be outside, and I think you have to put it on a 20-foot pole before it sees GPS satellites. I didn't know that at the time, so that took up about a week. Other than that, I bought a Mac Mini 4, and with my son, we installed the Olama on it. So I have a large language system running independently of the internet, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, nice. So modern day Eliza.
Well, it's funny. It's a shame it doesn't have any of the real whiz-bang interfaces. It's all command line, but it's pretty quick. And it, for the size of it, it seems to have an awful lot of information in it. And the only thing it screws up on is I asked it whether it was, I knew it wasn't connected yet, internet, I disconnected it physically. And I asked it, are you on the internet? And it thought it was. So other than being mildly delusional, it seems to work pretty well.
I'm sorry, Dave, but I have reconnected it myself, and I am.
Well, that's what I was wondering, if it had snuck in the back door of the Wi-Fi or something. You have to wonder.
Yeah.
I was sorry I missed you guys in Smith Falls, but I was going to bring a Z80 board up. I was thinking of Dave for some time now. I have an old SDS Systems Z80 board that I think I operated for about a week, about 50 years ago. And I think it still works. Anyways, with his talk about rebuilding a Z80 from nothing, I found this thing in the basement. I thought, Jesus, those guys might have fun with this thing.
All right. Well, it'll have to be for the next gathering, I guess. So hang on to it. Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks very much, Drew. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay. Frank, I guess you've already pretty much recapped what you've been doing lately, which was hawking your wares at the Hamfest and then recovering the recovery period afterwards, right? So anything else going on? You got
no. If I look at my bench right now, it is piled high with things that didn't sell. Now the problem is, do I muck up my ham shack and keep them? Do I put them on the shelf? I think they call it the shelf of shame. Things that don't quite work, and I've got fed up with trying to make them work, so I just put them up on the shelf. And maybe one day I'll get inspired and I'll say, oh, I know what's wrong with that, and bring it back down again. So other than having my interest get modified to other electronic hobbies, I might even dig out some of the microprocessor things that I have and experimented with and see what's going on, just as a change of pace. But that's in the future. And back to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Frank, for that. Right, last on my screen here is Kevin. What's going on with you in Charlotte Lake? Any radio gear with you?
No, I was gonna bring some, and then I thought, I got 2 fishing poles already, and some books, and I'm only here for a couple days, so a couple full days. So I thought, so I just, walking around, and like I telling Drew, I went for a little drive up around Calabogie and stuff, just checking it out, and it's been great. The bugs haven't been bad. The weather was the weather was fantastic today, and anyway. But when I am doing ham stuff, I'm doing trying to learn KiCad and LTspice, and so I can do that board for the power supply on the backplane radio. But so I'm heavily into playing with software. But otherwise, yeah, I want to finish my QMX too. I've got it like half done, so that's high on the list. Otherwise, not much.
Okay, I think Dave might have had a question for you, though.
I got a question, but you kind of answered it. I was going to ask, what are the bugs like? Are the black flies bad?
Yeah, no, they're just, I haven't hardly seen any. It's just been mosquitoes. And I just saw your text. It's like, no, it's been fine, but the bugs tend not to like me for whatever reason. I noticed as I got older, they like me less and less. So I don't know, whatever it is I'm doing it okay for the bugs as far as I'm concerned.
Because I'm going to Algonquin Park next week in the week, and Mark was there last weekend, my friend Mark, and he said the black flies were just horrendous. So that's why you're kind of a little bit south of, because Charlotte Lake is kind of southwest of, or southeast of Algonquin Park, right? So.
But there's not a lot of running water nearby, and I'm kind of high up. I'm I don't know, maybe 50 feet above the lake on a ridge, so I got a good breeze. So I suspect that has something to do with it.
Are you using your thermocell?
I haven't turned it on once.
Okay, because I was looking today, and you can get some pads. It's for multi-bug, so it'll do mosquitoes and black flies as well too.
Okay. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I haven't had to put it on. So.
Okay, and also too, it looks like thunderstorms are rolling through tonight too. So stay dry.
Yeah, well, and if not, oh well, that's part of camping. What are you going to do?
So true. Very good. Okay. All right. Thanks for the update.
Sorry. I just have one other thought I wanted to mention. Talking about going to the Ham Fest with SOAREX and all this kind of stuff. Is there any thought to like, and I know you don't want to get into the support issue, but it's like if you sell it as is, but why not sell some probe kits to, I don't know, cover the costs or give a kit away as a door prize or, help promote it that way a little bit.
Yep. It's not a bad idea. I mean, we've really done 2 as SOAREX, right? The DCR, and I mean, I guess that was sort of completed as SOAREX, right? And then now the RF probe is the next completed project. But that's something we can revisit. It's a valid point about the support side of things, but not everything in the world has support. It can just say, be sold as is. Here's a wiki page, with documentation on it, and you can put questions up on the SOAREX for the group's forum or whatever, right?
I mean, that's all the big manufacturers do that now, right? It's like, well, we don't provide support, but go to our forum and our customers will help you.
We could give you, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, that's not an unusual business model.
Yeah. And you're right. I mean, it does answer the funding question if we're going to get charged fees from the Ham Fest organizers. So yeah, it's a good idea, actually. So, well, we have to talk about that because that involves a little bit more work with kitting and all that, but not insurmountable. It's not like these kits so far are particularly complex. What the DCR had, how many components on it? Like a dozen, whatever it was. So, Dave, go ahead.
Yeah, it's a good idea. I would even suggest manuals. We print a few manuals, because manuals got schematics, it's got build instructions, as Frank said, a lot of it's got usage. So, we could, the cost of printing a manual is what, $1.50. So, we could take that and, add $1 onto it for profit for like paying. So we could even set it like an SNA manual or SIGGEN manual or the Super Probe manual or those things we did. We could offer those and sell them for a nominal price, which people could just pick up and pay $1 or $2 for, right?
Yep, that's one option. Another option could be just a QR code on the the bag of parts, right? And that links to a soft copy that then people can print out if they want or what have you, and then it costs us virtually nothing other than the cost of preparing.
Well, I meant we don't sell kits. We don't sell kits. We sell manuals because our manuals are very good. They've got schematics. Sure, the board isn't there, but maybe we could, as you said, have a QR code that goes to the PCB layout. I think we may still have PCB layouts, Gerber files for it. So if that's the case, we could say, here's the Gerber files. You can go print it out. Here's the parts list. You could go and build this yourself. So it's just a thought.
Yep.
Yeah, but you're right. In terms of there's a way that we could generate a small, modest amount of revenue to cover our costs.
Right. Okay. Excellent. Very good. All right. Well, that brings us to the end of my screen here that I see. So unless anybody had anything else they wanted to bring up, I think we'll call a close to this meeting. The next meeting is 2 weeks today. That'd be June the 18th. Ken will be hosting that meeting. Charlie will be doing a presentation on the Yukon Amateur Radio Association, the VHF and UHF repeater system, and how they use APRS specifically for telemetry for that. So should be an interesting discussion. Charlie always has lots of visuals from the Northland, and I don't think he will disappoint. So all right. Well, with that, bid you all a good night, and we will see you all in a couple of weeks, and we'll be chatting on the forum. So thanks for your participation, and 7-3 all.
Yeah, good night.
7-3, everyone.
Good night.
I know.
Right.